Hey everybody, I am home and we are going to do a little bit of stocking the shelves. I am kind of in the middle of cleaning out my cupboard, but I'm going to, sorry about that, I'm going to go shelf by shelf to put it back together. So I thought I'd show you one shelf to restock. Next week we will do more stocking of shelves, but hopefully that video will take place on canvas to give us some variety. So what I've done here is I've taken out some of the cupboard that was a mess. As you can see, there are other shelves that are still kind of messy, but we are going to just kind of do one of them to show you, make it a little quick. I know Miss Woodworth is also coming in to do some vocational skills with us today. So we're just going to do one shelf today. And right here I have all of the materials that came from the cupboard. A couple of these things we leave out, but most of this stuff is going to go back in the shelf, alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to stock the shelf back up with the things that we have out here. Most of this stuff is food or containers, and what we want to do essentially is put the stuff we use in the front and the stuff that we don't use as much in the back, okay? Because we don't need to access the stuff we don't eat in the cupboard as often, and especially like the blender here and the coffee maker. We have two coffee makers, we have a coffee maker on the counter, so we don't need a second one, okay? So since we're not going to use it as much and it's pretty heavy, we want to put it in the back. Okay, you always want to put the heavy stuff in the back so it doesn't fall off the edge and make a ruckus in your house or hurt anybody if you put it high. So you want to put the stuff that's heavy, especially if you don't use it, in the back, goes in the back, or it goes on the bottom. Right now I'm going to put my stuff in the back because the bottom shelf is taken up by some storage items. So I'm going to start with the heavy stuff. And most of this stuff we don't use because we have two of them. So I'm going to start putting the heavy stuff in the back of the cupboard, alright? And that's how we're going to keep the house safe. We don't want any of this stuff falling down and making noise and falling on people. So here we go. We're going to put this in the back. Put a deep cupboard here, all the way in the back to give yourself more room, alright? And I'm going to take the blender as well. Alright, this is a two-piece blender. I'm going to put this in the back as well, right next to the coffee maker. Alright, and then I'll put the coffee stuff in there as well next to the coffee maker so that it is together. Alright, so we're going to put the heavy stuff again towards the back so that it doesn't fall out of the cupboard here onto the floor. So there we go. And then since the coffee pods go with the coffee maker and we have coffee pods out here already, we're going to put these ones back in the cupboard right next to the coffee maker so that it's together. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the empty containers, which one of them we're going to get rid of, but one of them we'll keep, alright? So I think that this one is kind of old. We're going to get rid of this one. It's probably not super necessary to keep it around. So I'm going to throw this one out, but I will keep, we have two of the matching ones. One of them actually still has some cookies in it. This one is empty though, so I'm going to put this one in the back of the cupboard because although we will use it maybe eventually, we won't need it right away, I don't think. So we're going to put the cords back in the back and we'll put the storage container in there. Alright, and now we're kind of down to the food. Okay, so I've got a box of cookies, some chips, some steel cut oats. You want to put the stuff that you would use towards the front. Now that being said, the heavier stuff or the hard stuff that comes in hard packaging, you probably want to put towards the back in case it falls out. But you don't want to put it all the way back and have to climb over everything else. So the stuff that you're going to use the most and the stuff that is soft and won't make loud noises or hurt anybody will go in the front, and then the hard packages will go behind, all right? So all of this stuff, with the exception of this oil and that sauce, is going back into the cupboard here, all right? So we're gonna start with the heavier, harder packaging. I'm gonna start with the biggest package and work my way back. So this is full of cookies. It is a hard package. I don't want it to fall on me. I'm gonna put it on top of my empty package if it fits, all right? So there we go. It goes on top, sits nicely on there. All right, and now I'm gonna start with the harder packaging that would make noise or hurt if it fell on my toes. All right, we want that to be in the back, not on the edge, so that it will not fall out and hurt somebody or make loud noises. So we're gonna put this in here, all right? We do still want to be able to see what we're looking at. So we're gonna put it, I'm gonna stack it up a little bit and face the label out so that we know what it is. All right, we'll stack it up a little bit so that we can see where it's at. And I'll put the other one behind it so they're all together, all right? So there we go. And now we're working on just stuff. This is more food, obviously, but it's stuff that I would often eat and stuff that's not going to make any noise or cause any injury. This one is borderline. It might be a little loud, but if you eat it all the time, you just have to carefully put it in the front so you don't make a mess trying to go get it. So I'm going to put my cookies in. I don't eat cookies all that often. I'll throw those in there. But it looks like we do have enough space to fit everything here. So I'm going to sneak this one in here and make sure that it's secure on the shelf. If I'm being real careful, I could put something in front of the hard container here. And then we're just going to finish up by taking all this other miscellaneous stuff and throwing it into the cupboard here. So I'm going to take my bread actually and kind of put it kind of in front of my hard container there. I do eat a lot of bread, but also we want to, you know, protect ourselves from having that fall out of our cupboard. And then we're just going to fill the rest of the space with our chips and our smaller packaging. All the lighter stuff can go in front. All right, if you want to, you can. It'd be good to face the labels out so that you know what you're going to grab when you go into your cupboard here. So this is one way to stock the shelf. Next week, I will probably be on campus or in another area stocking a different kind of shelf. I'm hoping to make it to the room where you guys do stocking on campus. But for now, this is what we got, so this is what we're going with. I hope you guys can practice at your own house, stocking your shelves. And I hope this is a helpful lesson for you to keep your house nice and tidy. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys in just a second.